Good morning, this is Jack from theartschart.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Friday, the 29th of May. Our disclaimer: we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and not here to issue trading signals. Right, let's have a look at the 15-minute chart again. Okay, we've got... obviously, we had the flag broke up, respected resistance, came back down. We've got a target trend line here, and the target for that is in about, hang on, if we were to hit it right now, then that would be in the 3002 area, 3002, 3003. Obviously, we probably won't hit it right now, so we may be hitting this a little higher later in the day. The question is it going to break when we get there? Now, there's no particular reason to think it is going to break. I have got, if you have a look at the, let's move over. And let's have a look at the RTH charts on that. Here, I've just done a close-up. I've moved my 60-minute chart on to a shorter time scale. This is the big picture here. This is the channel. This is the channel support in about the 2910 area, which we're in absolutely no danger of threatening. This is an old trend line and not working anymore, but this was holding for a while. This is the trend line resistance, which we haven't quite hit yet. Ideally, we'd be hitting that in the 3100 area next week. This is the IHS target, which is in almost exactly the 3100 area, actually. And this is the rising support trend line here for on SPX. Now, I've got that approximately in about the 3000 area, so it's really very, very similar to the level. It's slightly higher here on the 15-minute chart. So really, it's very similar to the ES trend line, and is in fact in the same as the trend line. Now, what happens if we break it? Well, I think probably not a great deal. We would probably just be setting up an alternate rising support a bit lower. It would be inconvenient because obviously it'd be a very nice long entry at the trend line. But the main support here is obviously this trend line here down in the 2910 area, 2920 area rather, and that is the main channel resistance. Would we be opening up a test of that? Not at the moment, I don't think, because at the moment we haven't hit this trend line. And this is very much the obvious trend line to be hitting, so it doesn't necessarily have to, but chances are we'll come down to this 3000 level. We'll either find support there or not too far lower, and we will start another leg up. What will I be looking for then? Well, I'll be looking, I was talking about the 5-minute sell signal yesterday on the SPX RSI 14. I'll be looking for another one of those really for the way up. Ideally, we will see how that develops in RTH, but obviously we haven't reached the ideal low area yet, and we're probably going to. 3000, my feeling is it'll probably hold, but it might not. The lean for today is bearish. Now, today is the last day of the month. That means, of course, we're changing all the weekly pivots as usual in this week, but we're also changing the monthly pivots, which is less usual. So the monthly pivots all need to be taken into consideration today, that this is the last day for the monthly pivots, and that we've got all new ones on Monday. Not so much an issue on equities, but an issue on some other things. In terms of the bearish status of the day, it's about 60% bearish today. It's about 70 to 75% bullish on Monday, and it's about 65% bullish on Tuesday, I think. So tomorrow, so today is as is usual with the end of the month, bearish. Monday and Tuesday are fairly strongly bullish. So what I'm thinking is we make a low today, and we head up and we get pretty close to the target or hit it on Monday or Tuesday. We will see how that goes. All right, NQ. No divergence, still just about hanging on to the weekly pivot, but of course this is the last day for the weekly pivot as well. RTY getting pretty close to a potential head and shoulder neckline here, which I'll be watching if we get there. This would have a fairly large ideal right shoulder high, would be in about the 1445 to 50 area. So we could, if we get close to that, I'll certainly be watching that next week. We're getting pretty close to a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing on RTY. YM, we've broken the short-term rising support. 60-minute sell signals reached the possible near miss target. Could go a little lower. I've got a possible head and shoulder neckline here as well in about the 24 850 to 900 area. Not really seeing any powerful reason to think it's going to get made. DAX and the STX, I was expecting more overnight on the downside. To be honest, we've got a possible head and shoulders forming here, and I've got a trend line support here, which I was kind of expecting to get hit, but maybe it won't be. The sell signal has reached the possible near miss target, but on ESTX it hasn't reached that yet. I was expecting to see some more downside, but ESTX you can see is actually almost retesting yesterday's high, so we will see how that goes. Basically, everything, all the other sell signals will have reached the possible near miss targets by the end of the day, apart from the RTY one, which failed, and NQ, where we never had one. Okay, looking at the bigger picture charts again. Okay, that is the main trend line set up here. 60-minute 50 moving average is at 29.83, so approximately 29.80 ES. If we get a strong move down, we might be testing that support. I wouldn't be expecting to see a sustained break below. It would be a significant break of support if we were to see that. In terms of the daily 5 MA, that's 2992, so let's say 88 ES. That's two good support levels, and I'm expecting one or the other to hold. Middle Bollinger Band 2913, that's effectively a match with the main rising channel support. I'm not expecting either of those to get tested. If we do see a test of those, I'd be surprised. If we see a break below, then that would be a significant bearish break, very significant. And it could mean that the high was already in. DX. Now, DX has continued lower. It's got through my trendline support, and the buy signal is failing. What's happening here? Well, let's have a quick look at the daily chart on that. Now, what I was talking about a few days ago on Chart Chat was I said really the read here was a triangle, and in the context here you basically got impulse, consolidation, what's the obvious next move? Another impulse down. We may have started that impulse, and that's what I was talking about with the wave count here. I was doing it, and I reckon this might well be the end of wave E. We might see a break down, which would be the obvious direction, and then we might continue. Now at the moment we've just retested this low here, but that's on this RTH chart which won't update till tonight. On the overnight action we are below here, and it wouldn't astound me if we were on the way back to 94 at all. And that is something you need to bear in mind here. It may be, I know Stan's been leaning towards higher on this, and to an extent this has been correlated with equities, but I'm not sure it needs to be, and I'm not sure it's going to be for long. I think we might be starting to see a significant move down here on DX. I've not really seen an awful lot to counter that opinion so far. We'll see. ZB, the buy signal is limping into the possible near miss target area. We are testing the weak pivot as resistance, and so far that's holding. Does this look like a bottoming pattern? No, it looks like a bear flag. Chances are this is going to result in a retest, deliver a retest to the low in due course. The buy signal reached the possible near miss target on CL, and it's come back tested weak pivot, maybe heading back for a retest this high and a bit higher. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think I was looking at the XLE last night, and I was thinking much the same on there. NG has effectively, I think, a triangle. I don't think it was a great quality triangle, but it's broken down from here. What I was talking about on the notes yesterday was, and I've talked about it a couple of times, and I've been talking about on Chart Chat, was that there was a pretty good argument that this was going to go back and retest the low for 2020. Now that's not actually that easy to see on the futures chart, just because the roll tends to be so huge. But if we have a look on the index chart, you can see it very clearly. So let's have a look at that. And that is a retest of this low here. Now, yesterday, there was a bit of a struggle working out what the difference between the index and the and NG is, and that's actually come down a lot over the last few days, and that may well mean that we need to go significantly lower to reach it. Now we don't have to reach it now. We could be forming a flag which could take us up into the 2.2, 2.3 area before we go and test that, but it's possible. We're on our way to test it now. Watching that, the 50 MA is at 1.79. This level actually is pretty close to the NG level at the moment, so that's what I'm watching there. If we lose the 17.79 area hard, we could head down into the 150s to retest the 2020 low and make the second low of a double bottom. GC, now I've been talking about this. We had the wedge, it underthrew, found support in the monthly pivot, bounced up very nicely from there. No current negative divergence, and for me, the obvious next target is unfinished business at a retest of 1788/9. Don't know if it's going to make it there, but that's the obvious next target. We have broken up from the wedge now, so waiting to see if we do. SI has made a higher high, no current negative divergence. Again, that's got unfinished business above. HG, this is breaking up slightly over this declining resistance. I'm liking the upside on this. I think we're probably going to see a retest of this high soon. Might not be till next week, but soonish anyway. USD, we've broken the negative divergence there, and this has gone higher. The annual pivot is at 1.221, sorry, 1.1221, and that is that's the obvious next resistance above. GBP USD, this may be a bear flag wedge forming. If so, in any case, the next target would be bear flag wedge resistance. I've got that currently in the 1.241 area, and we'll see what happens here. If that breaks up, then it could be that we're just on the way, directly on the way back up. This could be an inverted head and shoulders here, but I don't particularly like it, so I haven't marked it in. USD JPY is going lower at the moment under the weekly pivot and monthly pivot, which of course have been a big thing all week, but of course stopped being either of those at the end of today. At the moment, this is failing to go up and DX is going down. It is positively correlated with DX. There's no particular reason to think this isn't going down too. USD CAD has been heading lower. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed here. We do have a potential little double bottom here. We could see a rally. Australian dollar, likely heading higher. I've got short-term rising support just over 66. Waiting to see what happens there. NZUSD is still on a sell signal. That almost reached the possible near miss target. I'm not taking a lot of notice for it, but I would say there's a very nice looking potential level top here, and we could see a move back to where the weekly pivot currently is at 60.61. KC. Now KC's gone lower here. It's gone through my wedge support, and I'm not really thinking this is a bullish underthrow. I think we're killing that off at the moment. On the other hand, we do have a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. We could be finding support here. I think Stan's target was in the 98 area. Sorry, 96 area. So maybe. I think we are probably getting close to some kind of a rally, at least on KC, and this may actually be the first signal of that rally. SB broke support here, is backtesting weekly pivot, finding resistance there so far. This can go a bit lower. I'm leaning towards this being an overall bull flag forming, i.e. this area here. CC, still finding resistance. That resistance trend line is currently at the 24.38 area. When that breaks up, I think we've got a decent shot at getting back at retest this high. Until then, we don't. So waiting to see what happens there. This could still go and make a lower low in the 22.90 area. Wheat, we've got a breakup from this declining resistance here. I think this is a bottoming pattern here, and this could be an inverted head and shoulders for me. It's not that pretty, but it's not bad. I'm leaning towards this. I'm leaning bullish on this, and we made a full retest of this low. I'm leaning to the long side here. I think this may be an IHS, in which case IHS resistance is in the 525 area, and if we were to see a sustained break above it, the target would be in the 555 area. Corn, we've got up to a potential inverted, well, we've got up to a potential double bottom resistance, really. I'm thinking this is probably still a bear flag forming, and if this is a bear flag channel, then we could get up to, well, very marginally higher, but not much. 332.5 maybe, and then fell from there. If we were to see that test today, that could give us a 60-minute sell signal brewing. Soy, we've got still leaning towards seeing this being a bear flag and seeing a retest of this low. Not seeing anything to strongly argue with that at the moment. Live cattle. Live cattle is broken declining resistance here, and I'm expecting to see a retest of this high, albeit that is not much higher at all. We aren't in any danger of losing the sell signal. This could be the second high of a double top when we reach it. Lean hogs, I was leaning towards seeing an IHS a right shoulder forming, but it looks like we're going to see a retest of the low. That wouldn't surprise me. Lean hogs has been pretty weak, and as far as I'm aware, not much demand has been coming through from China, and obviously relations with China aren't great, and currently getting worse. All right, what questions we got today? Let's have a look. Audio is cutting out. I don't know. Sorry, I should have seen that earlier. Yeah, I'm hoping it's on your end. I've actually switched my internet today, as I've been meaning to fix my number 2 internet, and I got that fixed today, but I wouldn't have thought that would have an impact. Okay, audio should be fine. It's something I'm watching for. All right, any questions, guys? apart from audio. Yeah, you too, mate. Have a great weekend. And the weather's going to be nice here. I'm going to be spending a lot of the weekend outside. My sons want me to play a board game. It's going to be fun. So yeah, looking forward to it. You too, guys. I'm in Chester in the UK. A place mainly noted for having an awful lot of rain. We don't get an awful lot of sun. In fact, in a bad year, you can have a bath, and if you read a book in there and stay in an hour or two, you can miss summer. But we've got a nice weekend this weekend. The weather's going to be very nice. I think we're going to be having a barbecue. It's going to be great. I love Chester. It's lovely. But I mean, it's the trade-off you get for England. It's like, advertising. It's why is Britain a green and pleasant land? Because it never ever stops raining. It rains a lot, and Chester is one of the rain capitals of the UK. But it's still lovely, and everything is most definitely green. Yeah, I've lived in London for a while, and I might be moving back at some stage. I love London. But you've got to remember, it's a bit warmer in London. Between Edinburgh and the south coast, the average temperature rises 5 degrees, so it drops 5 degrees as you're heading towards Edinburgh. That's actually quite a big difference. It's actually kind of like the south of France in extreme southern England. Here it's sort of in between the two of them. But it's nice. I like the weather here. It's nice everything being green. It does rain a lot though. So, and it's very nice to have a nice weekend. And this weekend is going to be a very nice weekend. I used to have a racing friend and used to go with him, but to be honest, I've never had much interest in horses myself. So if he moves back to England, I'll probably start going on a regular basis, but it's been a while. It's a nice racetrack though. I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's I think shut down here too. So for the moment, but I think we're starting reopening next week. But I think it's going to be a while before things involving big crowds are really back in action. And I'll tell you one thing that's going to be really interesting to see: how did the planes get back up and running? How long does social distancing last on planes? Can you run a plane at a profit with social distancing? That's because really the plane's business model is all about cramming people in like sardines. If you can't do that, well, I wouldn't want to own stock in an aircraft at the moment. I really wouldn't. All right, cheers, guys. I'll catch you later. Anyway, if we get a nice looking low today or an interesting looking high at the beginning, I'll be calling it out. And we'll see. All right, cheers, guys. Catch you later.